Of course Dustin is a bloody shark.
Okay.
We might jump to like their itch page and talk about
Oh, okay, so we're not
their like gateway gifts that they had on
Thank you, you read it? Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I
just didn't
the
think
last
that.
look back I did.
It's just too bad 'cause a lot of them had web versions.
Yeah, right. I also brought like a.
What I'm about.
Wow, prepared. Yeah.
Who's in yet?
Yeah, lessons were learned.
No? Am I sneaking in early?
5 people.
Alright.
Probably 50 minutes-ish until they kick us out of here.
Yeah, so we have like 10 minutes per person.
And our intro and our outro. So I think there's enough time to actually dabble.
Yeah, so
Nice.
introductions, everybody gets their slot, then we do a speed round, and if there's still time, we can take questions or just break out some other like indie bangers. If we end up dead air, just say, "Will, talk about Project Silverfish." I'll be like, "Well, this is a game that went from itch.io to Steam and been very successful."
Very good.
I've got my lot over here on camera, so there will be a video of it. I don't think any of them are in yet, but
Will. Did you do something different? It looked like a little
Yes, I
finally
doing Even first, which kind of sets the format for the team. I was imagining it's not just me talking. I hope everyone else will chip in, heckle, or ask questions.
I was just gonna sit in silence.
Please talk.
No.
Just stare.
I didn't realize that was part of
Sit
it.
through any of the other panels that weren't Will's?
I'm not a panel person, so I was like, if there's anything he wanted to do, then that's,
Sunglasses fully
we'll do that. But
once in a while, just shake your head.
you've got like it's your slot till 10 minutes.
But everyone wants to ask questions to help. It's not just like a full club.
It's just the only part of this question is
it's good. It's the first time I've had it. I'm like,
Actually enjoying it.
honestly,
How you guys?
what's up?
Yeah, how's your PAX been so far?
It's been wild. We had a government Square Enix thing party last night and won the grand prize raffle.
Holy shit, what does that get you?
I got like a collector's
Get you matching content.
Saying hi to my,
Yes, that was
I was saying hi to my aunt this morning. Yeah, and she was telling me about how when her and her friends were in grad school getting their degrees, they would all, mostly in solidarity, go see each other's panels. And because of how people are, you have to be sure to like start and fill the front rows.
Yeah.
And be like looking and smiling and nodding. And of course, she would only know one of the people on the panel, and then other people, like afterwards, other people would always come and say, "I'm really happy that somebody was here paying attention."
Yeah, I've been moving quick enough, so they haven't been able to get rid of me yet.
Wi-Fi.
And then he was like, what's your favorite ending of the game? And then he said, there's a huge party, do you know about it? And we're like, he's like, oh, we're supposed to tell people it's secret. And then I was like, wait, do you work on the game? He said, yeah, I'm ST.
Hello.
Is it time?
I know it is Sunday, but we are talking about indie games today, so I will be a lot more energetic than this panel probably needs. If everyone's sitting comfortably, shall we begin? That's the vibe I think we're going for today. So, friends, PAX attendees, industry legends, and me, it is my esteemed pleasure to welcome you all to Scratching the Itch. .io. I would have held that pause for an hour. Very, very quick thank you to Dylan for setting this all up and bringing us all together. We are going to be going through a plethora of fascinating games that our lovely panelists have found on itch.io. They'll be talking a little bit about each of them and why they think they will be a grand success once they hit the stormy waters of Steam. Then we're going to go through like a quick fire round, and there may be time for questions at the end. So yeah, get comfortable, start thinking indie games. How's that for an intro? Get thinking indie games.
Do it again.
It's not my best work. Aside from my very loud self, we have an all-star lineup here. So from left to right, first up we have Victoria Tran. is the communications director over at Innersloth and has seen empires rise and fall in this industry.
That makes me sound really, really old.
It's more that I think Boyfriend Dungeon as a project would have aged anyone.
No, that gave me youthfulness. She'll stare at just hot weapons all day.
Skipping over that ginger numpty. Next up we have Jakob. Now, Jakob has made a gajillion exceptional indie games, 2 of which I believe are out and about in both PAX Rising and 6, which for those of you who fancy a stroll afterwards, we will be taking a squad over to 6 if you want to see more indie games. The thing you don't know about the founder and creative director of Unbound Creations is that they basically made Bo Burnham's Inside for indie games. Look up Leaf Blower Man and then remember what it was like to be stuck inside. Next up, we have Dylan over at Red Nexus Games, who has just put indie dev, but you did Peglin. It's like a little Peglin guy.
I indie developed it.
And last but by no means least, Andrew, founder and producer of Goodberry Games. I need more space for cheers. Okay, so teeny tiny bit of introduction and housekeeping. So first off, what is itch.io? Just in case
itch.io, itch.io.
Well, I was hoping we'd save that one for the questions round, but I do want to see how many different pronunciations of this site I can sneak into this entire panel. In their own words, itch.io is an open marketplace for independent digital creators with a focus on independent video games. It's a platform that enables anyone to sell the content that they've created. itch.io is also a collection of some of the most unique, interesting, and independent creations you'll find on the web. We're not your typical storefront, with a wide range of paid and free content. Now, obviously there's a lot of things going on around itch.io and the credit card companies that are trying to dictate what can and can't be put on that store. We're not going to be getting into that today. Today is about finding these great games that are about to be successes. But if you haven't heard anything about what's been happening on itch.io, I implore you all, spend a little bit of time this afternoon, do some research, have a look into it, as video game censorship is a very real thing that we're all having to deal with. It's not good.
Yeah, I will say, they've got big fancy descriptions up there. The way that I usually pitch itch to people is it's like Bandcamp for indie developers, even before like Bandcamp got acquired, like back when it was still indie itself. Fantastic website. It really is like, put whatever you want up there. Lots of video games. There's lots of tabletop games where you can print out the rules. Lots of free content, lots of paid content. It's just a really interesting spot.
Lovely. So, without further ado, Andrew is going to be introducing you to our first itch.io game. PAX.
How's everyone going? How's your PAX been so far? That's some good. That's good. It's Sunday. We're already late into the convention. We wanted to take this opportunity to share a variety of different itch.io games that we would love to see get more love, that we know will get more love. And if you get in on it now on the ground floor, you can get hipster cred for being OG.
Oh, you get the smug face.
You get the smug face. The game I chose was Lancer Tactics. Lancer Tactics is an adaptation of a tabletop game called Lancer. Does anyone here play Lancers by show of hands? Hell yes. I don't know if I've seen I don't know, does anyone know if Lancer has any presence here at the tabletop area?
Lamentably, I've not seen it.
I've not seen it, which is a crime. It's very cool. It's about giant robots in space. It's like humanity has spread across all of the cosmos, and so there's just like a wide variety of different character options within the original TTRPG for building your own mech, your pilot, their backstory. It's incredibly customizable, and I think when it comes to like mech adaptations for games, you gotta have customization. My mech's gotta be different from your mech. I want to have like my pilot have some history with their mech. I want the mech to grow over time. It's a really cool system. So to my pleasure, it's so exciting to hear that they're adapting. It's not even the original Lancer team. It's just the license around Lancer is permissive enough that the fan community around it can build up their own video game adaptation of it, which is really rare. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what else is going on in the TTRPG scene, a lot of kind of draconian power grab licenses and things. I won't name names, but like, you know, it's cool that Lancer is so supportive of the indie scene. The Lancer Sector folks did a Kickstarter a while ago, which has fully funded their game, and they've been working on it ever since. Currently posted entirely on itch, to the best of my knowledge. And it's fucking rad. $20 on Lancer will get you the game. It is a true port of the Lancer system. They had to change some things from the tabletop rules to make it work easily with the UI and the experience of video gameplay. It's not multiplayer. It's not meant to be like a virtual tabletop or anything. I'll say, as someone who's struggled to GM the original Lancer system before, it's nice to have a computer game be like, you actually can't move there. You actually can't spend heat that way, just so you know. It's nice to have, it's good for tutorializing the game, I think, better than the book, as awesome as the original system in the book is. Very cool, awesome community. I think when it comes to tactics games, there's a lot of like wargaming themes, and a lot of, especially in the current political climate, it's weird to be telling stories about war non-critically. So Lancer, as both the original system and the new Lancer Tactics adaptation of it, are both tackling war, I think, in a very like critical way about colonialism and fascism as it hits space.
Sorry if I keep dancing in my chair. I'm a monstrous fan of Lancer, and I'm trying desperately not to talk over it.
You're welcome.
It's so cool! It's so cool. The art is predominantly done by the same individual that does Kill 6 Billion Demons. Woo! It is gloriously queer-coded. You have psychic robots, you have fighty robots, you've got your big shooty gun bang, you've got a spider, I think. It's all there.
Do you have a favorite mech?
Okay, yes.
I'm a centaur.
We can't set me off, all right? We can't set me off.
Just a quick question.
Please.
Just, you know, I have never heard of Lancer before putting these slides together. And the fact that you were surprised maybe not to see it at the show floor, is it a fairly like new project then?
I don't think it's that new. It's been around for a couple years now. I think it's getting its feet within the community. There are like die-hard fans. Anyone who I know who does play it are freaks who are very into it.
Well, look, I know what I'm about. The core system is available online for the tabletop, and it's got a lovely focus on the role-playing aspects. It's not just a combat system with some funky dice. And I really appreciate that. And the fact that they've done such a wonderful licensing agreement for this project makes me happy in my heart.
There's a really cool piece of lore around the original devs, which is there's like a really awesome like digital character sheet system and ecosystem within Lancer. Because it's such a complicated game to build your character sheets, CompCon's like the main way you build them. But the original Lancer Tactics dev was really making their own kind of character sheet manager, and that just became a video game. There's continued simulating things from there, and it just became a full video game adaptation.
So like, what makes it complicated? Like, what are the fields on the sheet? Like, do you customize the screws, like putting the plates together? Like,
if you won, you can flavor a lot of things as well. So you'll be like, this is why I have this ability. But it's just a lot of mechanical like abilities you can submit for different weapons and different modules and things. The system of the world has like a license system. You're not licensed to use certain mech pieces until you like prove yourself, you level up. And so you have to kind of, you start with your individual class mech, you only get like the cheapest, lowest license pieces, and then you level up, you get new stuff. It's rad to mix and match. Yeah. Anyone here like giant robots? Very rad.
They're not like giant robots.
Oh, no. We'll talk afterwards. We actually have some of the Lancer Tactic devs in the audience today.
Seriously?
We do, right here in the front.
They're going to be sick of me in like 2 years.
Some of the dev team are down in Portland, and that's not far at all.
That's lovely. Okay, so let's, with the format of this, so why do you think this is going to be a success beyond just the itch.io launch?
Truly, it is the connection to an existing known system that people are so fanatic about. But then also, this promises, I think, in much the same way Baldur's Gate 3 provided people who didn't have an ongoing D&D table to meet at for a variety of reasons. Adults are busy. This gave people, I think will give people a way to play a single-player version of Lancer, which is currently inaccessible. You have to have 4 freakish fanatic friends who are all available at the same time, and that's a lot of variables. So if this can let you soft launch it to your friend group, you can send them a copy, and you'll be like, ooh, hey, try this out. You definitely won't fall deeply into a cult.
You're basically indoctrinating a bunch of lifetime DMs who are going to be running Lancer for many, many thousands of years to come.
Yeah. I don't know if they would identify themselves as a CRPG, but like post Baldur's Gate 3, I think we're going to see a rise of different tabletops adapt to video game. We already see video game adapt to tabletop, so only fair we go the other way around.
And giant robots, they're so hot right now. They're so hot right now.
Hot. So hot. Right
Hopefully not too hot, though. You gotta manage
Yeah. I will say the markets between itch and Steam are very different. I will say, if they do eventually come to Steam, Steam loves sci-fi and gritty things. There is a community for that on itch as well. God knows they love their horror games. But itch also has much more of your kind of wholesome, spaces. Is that fair to say? Would you guys qualify itch's community?
Yeah, and actually something I meant to mention earlier is that like, in addition to kind of the tabletop stuff games, it's also a great spot to find game assets. Yeah. Like if you are a game developer yourself and you need something for like placeholder or even further, itch has a ton of that. Like, it's got niches for kind of everything. It's very
Actually,
open.
I'd like to put a pin in the asset stuff because I'd love to come back to that if we have time. Because I want an excuse to talk about Project Silverfish. So thank you.
Yes.
Moving on to our next title. Woo! We have Retromine.
Retromine. So I didn't think to reach out to the developers ahead of time, but apparently they are somewhere Pacific Northwest based. So if they're around here, wave your hands.
I'm looking.
If
I'm
you
looking.
mind going to the description for me here. I played this. I was trying to sample a couple of different games, trying to find something that like checked all the boxes, and this one I got stuck on for at least an hour. Just like, I was trying to give each game about 10 minutes. That was not happening. For those who like Dominion and that kind of like quick and dirty deck building, this really felt like a single player version of that to me. And it just felt, really tightly balanced. Early on, I find a lot of roguelikes, especially when they just have the demo, meant to be like very, very difficult. And this kind of fit in there. But it kind of just leads to you like, bashing your head against the wall and trying to solve what they've got with the kind of limited content that they've got in there. But just from what I've seen, I think that, with some more content, some other branching paths to kind of explore, other strategy to kind of mix up each run, I could see this going a long way. So we'll show off some of the screenshots here. So little messy. Maybe I should have spread them out, but essentially you have a certain number of turns to fill up that score meter. That's the nice, looks like a coin, but it's called score. And then you're also trying to gather as much ore as you can. And there's 4 different card types that all operate slightly differently. And that score measure starts to get up pretty high. All the meanwhile, you're trying to make sure you get enough ore to upgrade your tools. And I was really impressed right away where I was already doing permanent upgrades on my cards for the rest of the run. And so it felt very, very strategic and something that very video game specific. Unless you're playing a legacy board game, you're generally not modifying your cards themselves. And I think it used the systems that you couldn't do physically in a pretty good way. So, liked it quite a bit. Yeah, you can see here, and I should have captured some of the comments as well. The dev is answering comments and concerns. There isn't a Steam page up yet, but seems like the development is very, very active, and I could definitely see this game going quite a bit further.
Okay. Do they do devlogs?
I did see a lot of the itch forums.
Yeah.
I don't know about the devlogs themselves.
I love the itch.io community. They're very wholesome. They're very supportive.
Yeah, it's mostly a community that is looking for new games to try. If you're like indie games and you like celebrating them, it's a good place to be for sure. Before we all hit the craziness that is Steam.
Steam communities. The darkness lies
Steam
there.
communities are something else. Steam as a platform is great.
We don't go to the Steam forums.
No.
That must be nice.
No.
Must be nice to not have to those.
Did you say this is a jam game?
I believe it started as a jam game. That's one of the things. But obviously, a full year and a bit of development, so it's been
an ongoing jam.
Yeah.
A lot of people support their jams after.
Yes, it does say released. So I think they released the jam game, kind of considered it done for 3 days and then came back to it. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's been looking, looks really solid as a game. So.
And you think it's got that spark? You think once it hits like the full title, maybe with a Steam release, it's going to be like kablam?
I think so. Yeah, like $5 or $10 on Steam, maybe more if they can prove that there's like a good depth of content. And I think this seems like the kind of game that streamers would pick up and really enjoy.
Oh, not streamers.
That's what happened to us. So that's the only lens that I see the world through.
It is always morally acceptable to boost streamers. Is there anything else you wanted to add on our lovely Retro Mime? Not Retro Mime, very different game.
So I didn't get a chance to dig into it too much. I did see that they had released a different game since then, and maybe as another jam. And it also looked pretty cool.
Okay.
But I don't think it's been as actively maintained. So I think this is kind of the big one, and then the other one was maybe a jam project. But I did think that was kind of interesting that this wasn't their like most recent game.
Yeah.
So.
Okie dokie. Man, we are blasting through these. Okay.
We can slow down if need be.
I mean, let's kick back. Let's take a moment. Let's take a beat.
I do have links if we want to try playing any of the games.
Whoa.
I can try.
Does this one have an online? I think it has an online.
It's got a web player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll get through. You all can,
We'll do
you
a
can
one-off,
champion your titles, and then I will
Fantastic.
do battle with laptop plus whatever happens. Next up, this is Jakob's, right?
That's right.
Yes, so this is
Okay.
going to be a little bit of a tonal shift from the last
Take us away.
games. And then if any of you may know me from our games like Renner Parade or Just Crow Things, I'm kind of in my like cozy era of game development with a little bit of a villain arc in there. So this spoke to me, and speaking of like it being very wholesome, that is a very cute and very wholesome game. That's one of those things that like it's very, very basic and simple, but it immediately has a great hook, and it feels like one of those things that's familiar but fresh.
Yeah.
And I think if we can actually just skip to the screenshots, that maybe.
Yeah, sure.
So basically, this is kind of like a guess the word, like Wheel of Fortune game. But the gimmick is that you have a randomly scattered words that you have to draw a circle around to select them as a guessing mechanic. And it is deceptively simple at the beginning, but it gets more intricate with different words being thrown in, different letters. You have also a limited amount of drawing, so it kind of pushes you to strategize. Oh, do I want to like create a weird wiggly shape? Like, do you want to conserve it and have like very narrow like little shapes? Do you want to? Obviously, there's gonna be like a dick butt. At some point, someone's gonna do that because it's people on the internet. But point is that like you can draw a lot of different shapes. You can draw hearts, and I think that's a very fun and fulfilling mechanic that takes that like word guessing idea and just makes it feel very fresh, very fun, very unique. And I think that also has a lot of potential. So this game is actually also a game jam game that was made in just 4 days with 5 people, and it has, I believe, it was the GMTK game jam. And they won the 2nd place for narrative.
Wow.
So kind of the underlying stories that I think you're a student and you like are meeting with someone else and you're kind of slowly falling in love. So a lot of the texts are a little bit like kind of like sweet and like again very wholesome. So it also alternates the gameplay a little bit as you go along to kind of go with the theme. Visually as well, it's a very, very cute art style. Everything just fits together. Just thematically, everything just works so well. It's very fun, and I think right now it's just a small game. It's very brief. It doesn't have a Steam page or anything, but I think that this could definitely grow into. If the developers are watching this could I think definitely grow into something bigger, especially if you expand on it. There's already some other gameplay challenges that happen in the game, so I think there's so much you could do with the format. It reminds me a lot of like we had I think Kind Words is a game about writing letters. It kind of reminded me of that.
Okay.
So I think there is a good appetite for these kind of like cozy text-based games with like a cute story, a lovely aesthetic, and now I think like in the past 2-3 years we've been seeing like an explosion of cozy games, especially after like Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley. With all us being stuck with the pandemic, we're craving coziness.
Yeah.
So I think it would honestly be a really great idea to fit in that genre.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost picked this, and then you picked it first. I was like, never mind, have to find something else.
Yeah, I saw these 2 guys shared the first 2 strategy games. It's like, I'm gonna be different. Actually,
Are you not like other girls?
So
actually almost went with one of the horror games because there are so many horror games.
so many.
Another thing that like the whole like Bandcamp of it being the Bandcamp of games, like a lot of them are playable in your browser and they're very bite-sized. Like you can just go in, spend like half an hour, get the experience. So it's very fun. Like I just want like an episode of a TV show in a video game format.
In that regard, even if the devs don't expand it, I think it stands on its own even at its current length. Yes, there's more they could do, but they don't have to. Yeah.
I've got a tough question about the length, given that none of us worked on the game. But does anybody have a ballpark of like maybe how many words are in it?
This one says, I have it up right here. It says playthrough time 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay.
So truly less than an episode.
That's pretty impressive for like a game jam project.
Yeah, it is actually impressive for a game.
That much narrative.
Hey, Dylan, I have a question. What's a game jam?
Actually, talking about itch.io is like it's a great place to like host game jams as well. But a game jam is creating a game in a limited period of time, usually 48 hours, but they'll do like a week, they'll do a month, some of them are a year, but essentially at the end of this, you just want some kind of prototype or completed game in some capacity, and great way to brush up on your skills, great way to just have fun with it. Even if you're not a developer, the itch.io jams can be really interesting to look at because you might find like the platformer jam where people are just going to make a bunch of platformers in a week, and because it's this limited project, people are very, very experimental, and so you'll see things that you'll just never seen before, never seen since, and it just makes for a very, very interesting jammy
Yeah, and a lot of end products of game jams do not look like this, by the way. Usually this is very impressive to have by the end of a game jam. I don't know how long the GMTK one is, but 4 days?
This one was 4 days. So this is really impressive for 4 days. And usually it's people will grind. They'll sleep for like 3 hours in the same place. Like the most famous one is the Global Game Jam that some of you might have heard. That's organized all over the U.S. And I believe that one's just 2 days, right?
That one's just 2 days.
It's like a weekend, and people will literally. We have a space here in Seattle, it's part of Seattle Indies, where we just organize a space, everybody gets together, we order pizza, and people will literally like bring mattresses and just sleep on the floor, just because you only have 2 days, so you're just gonna cram and crunch and grind. But it also forces you to be very creative because you're so limited. One more thing, that a lot of the jams have like a theme. So I think the last theme was something usually something very simple like loops, just that word, and they announced it at the start of the jam.
Very interesting choice. Future game.
There you go. Ooh, foreshadowing.
Whoa.
Yeah, if you want to know the Peglin's next scoop.
No.
Oh my God.
Sorry, the presentation.
Oh, did it? My bad. False advertising.
They're all so disappointed.
But yeah, so usually they like announce the theme at the start of the jam, so like no one can prepare beforehand. Then you have like, you have 48 hours, make a game with loops in it, and people will interpret it in their own ways. And they'll usually pair up with, I think this was maybe like 5 people. So like programmers will find artists, will find designers, will find writers. And it's also, it's a great tool for like finding team members, prototyping an idea, celebration of creativity.
So Peglin was started at a game jam, just myself and an artist. One day, the theme was fall, for those curious. That's why we have the falling and the physics. And then the other 2 people that we brought on to help us like get the game onto Steam were people that we had worked with on game jam games like 5 or 6 times each. So we knew that we worked well together already. It was already like, a couple of job interviews baked into a thing that felt very fun and entertaining at the time. But it was good to know, like, we already know how to communicate. We know how to work with each other. So.
How did you know that you wanted to continue working on Peglin after the game jam?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh.
I was working on a Word game. And I was running into some technical issues with it.
Fire one?
And no, it was like you would like create words from a field to try and like populate a planet. It was like terraforming a planet.
Okay.
It sounds good on paper, but I just could not wrangle it. And then I had friends that would keep bugging me, being like, you have to at least add a few more levels to this goblin drop game.
Yeah.
Like, I need more to play.
Are you telling me that Peglin was nearly called Goblin Drop?
That was the original prototype, And then
Get some merch of that.
And then after about, a couple of weeks of being harassed, I was like, fine, I will make this game, I will put it on Steam, and then I can go back to my baby.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'd like to come back to like the correlation between Game Jam games, itch.io, and projects really jumping off, because that's something you all have some great stuff on. But also, I believe it's time for your game. Nope. That's almost.
All right, so we'll talk about that quickly, because the reason that I put those in there is just to one of the lens that we're looking at is like, do we believe that this game is going to be developed further? Do we think it's going to make the jump onto Steam? And so, as a Game Jam game, they did it a month ago, and then to see them already push an update, like probably just some bug fixes, but maybe some content and stuff, that kind of like bodes well for future development.
Much like exceptional indie musicians, there is nothing quite so heartbreaking as finding an exceptional title on itch.io and realizing it has not been updated for like 2.5 years. The last post from the dev was like a little smiley face or something.
What did you see?
What did you see? Yeah. Okay, onward!
How do you
All right. So I definitely gave Dylan 2 games, and I was like, surprise me with what game you put on here. And so this is the one. I honestly, the problem with this one is I actually don't really know how to pronounce it.
Oddvots? No.
Oddvots? If anyone wants to yell out a pronunciation, we're all good.
I'm Eastern European,
Thank you.
This sounds like Podvatsk.
Podvatsk? Hell yeah.
Like a Russian word which might mean under the water.
Yes. Okay.
That sounds
This
topical.
makes sense because this is indeed a game.
Can you repeat what they said?
Sorry. Yes. It's Russian. Maybe it's a Russian word that means under the water, which would make sense for a game that exists under the water. Okay. So here's the thing, because we're talking about finding the next successful itch.io game, the next indie game. Who here just like judges a game based off of the name? Yeah. Okay, and then you're scrolling, you're like, and then it's just based off of the art. You're like, that's kind of interesting, sure. Yeah? No? Okay, that's right. We all judge a book by its cover. I get it. It's a safe space here. And that's exactly what I did when I was looking for a game. And for context, I also help run Outer Sloth, which is our indie game fund. So we get submissions, and I don't get like the image, I just get names of games, and I'll just click based off of like what name I think looks cool. This is why names really are important, and then obviously the art itself is very important. So obviously I did not know what the name of this meant, what the name was. I didn't know how to pronounce it, but it's another language, so I was like, I get that I'm uncultured. I could tell it was a different language. I was like, all right, I'm just not smart enough for this. But I was like, what is this weird shape in the water? I was like, it looks like a Tetris piece, and I am a Tetris fan. So I was like, maybe it's worth like clicking into. So this is like kind of the thought process that I was going through as I was looking through games of just like, is the name cool? If it's not, then whatever. But like, is the key art kind of interesting? Does it speak to me in some way? And this was it. Sorry, continue on to the description.
Okay.
A game about building an underwater city. But yeah, it's basically just that. It's a puzzle game, and you're like trying to, they have like different descriptions to them, and you have to like fit them in a certain way to get the most points. And they'll be like, if you put this almost Tetris block looking thing next to a underwater bunker, you'll get 5 times points. And I was like, ooh, I like this.
Hang on, let me move to the screenshots, because these are...
Yes, it's easier this way.
There we go. Now you...
Yeah. See, that's under the water. But yeah, so like the main thing for me, again, like when I'm looking for something, and I forgot who's on the panel said this, but like you want a really good hook, right? So it's something that makes it stand out from the crowd, something that's just a little bit different. It doesn't need to be like crazy different, just a little bit different enough that you're like, ooh, this is actually quite interesting. And I think for me, a successful indie game actually is really well done when you can repeat what the game is to your friends without having to look at the description, without having to necessarily be like, oh, like it was action, platformer, 3D thing, and it like had magic or something. No, it needs something that's very specific that you can repeat to other people yourself, because that's kind of how things spread, right? It's like, when you think of other, like, I mean, even when you think of, again, Richard's talking about Peglin, right? It's just it's the pachinko roguelike. It's very easy, it's very succinct, and people kind of already get what you're saying. And for this, I thought it was really cool. It was really interesting. I think it has a lot of fun little elements to it. Even when I was playing it, I was like, you know when you close a game, and then like 5 minutes later, you're like, I have some extra time. I'll just open it back up again. That was what was happening with me with this game. I'm not sure if they have a Steam page, actually.
That's a good question.
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, but it does. It was also a game jam game, so I hope they do a little.
Continuing the theme of not knowing how to pronounce things, the jam was for the Ludum Dare, or Ludum Dare, if you are cultured and know how to pronounce Latin.
Ludum Dare, if you will.
Ludum Dare.
How
Yes.
dare you?
That is a very good game jam. Also, I think they won something for it. Clearly, I did not actually check if they won something, but I'm pretty in my heart they won. Okay, and that's what matters.
They are an experienced dev team.
So I was going to ask, did you know who made this before you found the title?
No. So again, it's like when I'm going on itch, when I'm going on Steam, I am like just I don't know anything about it. I'm
Head
just
empty.
looking, head empty, sort of deal. And I should say, like, because for those who don't know, I read internet comments for a living, right? I'm going through that. So when I'm playing a game, I don't want words. I just want a big number go up. I want Tetris piece going into the place that I tell it to go, unlike people who don't do that. So it's very relaxing for me. But again, it's more than just like, Tetrising something together. It's having the points like match up. It's being like, ooh, I have to like strategize just a little bit to like just get it just right. And I don't know, it's very satisfying when you get it all together.
Are they doing like adjacency bonus things? Or like
Yes.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Before we move on, can anybody guess like what the dev team is just by looking at the screenshots?
Oh no, now I feel bad that I don't know.
Oh, there's one very clear tell, and we hinted at it earlier.
Oh God.
Not a face knows it.
It's the font in the game, but
Oh.
the game is
Loop Hero.
No wonder. I'm a fake fan.
This is made by the Loop Hero developers, and when I was kind of looking over the games that people had submitted and doing my own little wellness jump onto Steam, I learned at that time that Loop Hero was also a game jam game.
Whoa.
We've also Ludum Dare, but if you look at their team's itch page, there's like the Loop Hero Jam, and then the Loop Hero Full Submission, and then the Podvask Jam.
Yeah.
So we'll be very interested to see if they.
They got me. They got me so good.
Thank you for the good submission, Victoria. That's why I picked this one.
Okay. Oh yes.
Recent.
Yeah,
Recent
really
submission.
recent.
It's been a little while since they put any updates.
Yeah, Ludum Dare.
Call me Loop Hero, people.
They have, I think the last theme was Deaths. They do 2 a year. I think they might be taking a vacation though this year. So I think 57 was the last one they did. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe Depths as the theme makes a lot of sense.
Makes sense.
Under the water.
And continuing the thread, like, why do you think that one's gonna pop off?
I mean, I think it's because I have great taste. Thank you for asking. I'm so glad finally.
I'm a tastemaker.
No. But like genuinely, I think similar to like what I said, I think, well, one, they have the experience of Loop Hero now, so I'm like even more sure that it's gonna pop up. But in full honesty, indie success is sort of like a shot in the dark. You're like, hope that works. So no one can really say, but I think the reason I believe in this one is numerous. Like one, I think the game loop itself is really clear. It's like very simple to get, but obviously there's a lot of strategy to it, which makes it just very interesting to play. Two, I think the art is really well done. I think it's really interesting of a premise. And three, honestly, I think it has the juice. And I don't know how to explain that, but sometimes when you just see a game and you're like, I like that. Like that just hits my brain just right. And it's really hard. And this is probably a game designer thing that I'm not fully aware of. But I think they have a very strong sense of what the game is and what they want it to be for people, and that just resonates really well.
I think what's really fitting is the Tetris effect.
The Tetris effect.
I think there are a lot of different pieces that can lead to that, but the fact that you mentioned like, oh, you closed the game and then your brain was still just kind of simmering on it. Like, that's a very
one more turn.
Exactly.
Take me back.
A regular piece of advice I've gotten from multiple jaded game devs, and it's true and I hate it, is they're like, oh, if you just make a good game, Andrew, it'll be fine. Just make a good game. I'm like, I'm trying. So it's not like they just have the it's a good game.jpg and they can go from there.
Also, nobody sets out to make a bad game.
No one does.
I do.
Most of y'all haven't played Leaf Blower Man. You don't know how funny that is. Okie dokie. So, we have a couple of other little fun things to get into. So, Dylan has set us up the quickfire round.
Are we judging books by cover?
Yes. Okay.
Let's fucking go.
So, I believe there was. I had to mash some buttons over here to make this happen. Did you want me to bring up the new and hotness, or is this the? Well, okay, this can't be the pick because Brutal Legends in there.
Well, I actually wanted to mention that. Yeah, like
What a revival.
the front page of Itch when I was looking and putting the slides together. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, Brutal Legend is just in there, and there are like quote unquote like real games on Itch. Like it's not just purely indie stuff, and that's really good for us to see, right? That's very healthy. It adds legitimacy. Itch has a very good like downloadable client that will automatically update your games for you, do a lot of the same stuff that Steam does. Not as much on the community side or achievements or yada yada. A little bit more bare bones, but like we're there to play games, right? So it does that well at least.
And Steam could stand to have less community. It's fine.
Yes, that's very true. Yeah. 2 weeks after we launched, I closed the Steam forums for the last time and have not opened them since.
Wow.
We don't have a community manager.
That's worth a round of applause.
I don't know if I should be clapping.
Yeah, right?
I felt the pressure of everyone clapping and
You
then
have
suddenly
other-
my hands are doing
You have other community spaces that are not the forum.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. We find Discord is like much
Yeah.
easier to create a welcoming and wholesome environment, whereas something about Steam just makes people angry.
Interesting.
I don't know what it is, and we have a link to Discord in the game, but yeah, we just don't. And I am like, it's kind of sad because there's probably some great feedback and some great bug reports in there, but anything that is like important enough to kind of come up multiple times will work its way to us. And I would rather receive that feedback with a smile than with a like, these devs suck and they're lazy and we hate them. That's the Steam MO for whatever reason.
More and more, it sounds like reason Epic doesn't have a forum is strategic choice.
Oh yeah.
It's a full-time job to read through it.
Yeah, and I will say, like, Itch has the occasional bad actor, but in general, if you go in there, like, especially on the Game Jam stuff, it's people that are just kind of, like, happy that these new games exist.
I
Like,
kind of wish I could sort itch.io by feature requests for Leaf. I wish I could sort itch.io by like recent comments. Like have a hotness scale of like, oh, a lot of people are talking about this.
Are you
Like
just
a-
asking for
like a-
Newgrounds?
Yes, please, Newgrounds, call me.
How did this even win the daily third prize?
I see love letters up there.
What about quests? Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what Rat King is, but I'm eyeing it.
I'm looking at Drifter.
Well,
It got some good color.
Actually, to get a little bit technical for a second, I did want to point out that both the Drifter and Occlude have released on Steam, and I know for a fact the Drifter is doing very well. Congratulations to that team. May they make enough money to do a Silk Song.
Are they Power Hub?
yes.
Yeah.
I was going to ask it.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
But the thing to point out is that we have teams that are wildly successful that are also releasing on itch.io and on Steam, and Itch isn't cannibalizing any of that.
Yeah.
You can have a wonderfully successful career on Itch, then throw it up on Steam, and then, I don't know, buy a couple of yachts, hopefully.
Well, maybe break even. That's the dream.
Contribute to Gabe's yachts. That's
He
awesome.
sells them now. I'm independent, so I can get spicy.
Something that kind of pops out of me here, and it kind of goes to the idea of like, judging the book by its cover, but also being smart about it. And that's something that actually a game that I did also check out is the bottom left, I think it was Hollow Spire.
Oh yeah.
You see all of the capsules, they're colorful, they have different designs, and then this one's just white and black, and just immediately just jumps out at you.
Wow.
So I think that's something to keep in mind. It's not just about having nice art, but also considering like, you're not releasing a game in a vacuum. You have to consider where you are, what's your shelf placement, what does the stuff around you look like. And they do a good job of like, my eyes immediately go there, because it just looks different from everything else.
Indeed. In a sea of thrash metal covers, be Clown Party.
I was going to say, like, especially with Itch being very
Okay,
prominent.
all
like,
three of you that
horror
got that
games.
joke, you are legends.
Also, it's party cannon.
Is it Party Cannon? Why do I keep calling it Clown Party?
The Maze Mice does look very nice. It looks multiplayer, which to me is exciting.
Okay, so Dylan, do I have the power to pull stuff up, or were there any other quickfire itch.io titles you all wanted to throw into the crowd? Because we're gonna have time for questions.
I was hoping so, yeah.
It's gonna get wild. Off the chain.
Yeah, you should be able to just click the picture and jump straight to Itch. We might have to change
Oh, yes,
the
it's working.
display so that you can see what you're doing.
It's fine.
Okay, okay. So yeah, this is the itch.io homepage. You know, we've done a lot of talking. This is what it looks like. I'm signed into my account, which is maybe not the best decision. You can see some of the game assets that we picked up. Put into Peglin.
Does it feed the same way like Steam or other storefronts do, or is it same for everyone?
Not these sections, but the part that Will just skipped by is like the more from people I follow and more from like asset producers that I've
But
purchased
even
from. And
follow our things you subscribe to. It's not like, hey, we think you want this, and that's
It's more
fresh air.
chronological. It's not an AI feed.
It's not an AI feed.
I mean, this is your account. Like, you yell at me if I need to Alt F4, okay?
Alright, so go to his bank.
No pride.
You're like 2 clicks away
Profile.
from our Peglin
How
sales.
spicy can PAX get? If we can't put family unfriendly stuff on.
No, so I believe my account is checked at like 13.
Okay,
up,
okay, cool.
And that's what I put our panel at.
Okay.
Which is very
Nice.
convenient.
Can I swear?
So, I guess so.
I've already done it a couple times.
PG-13 rules. Yeah, we get 1 F-bomb for the
So-
whole panel.
Save,
Did you
use
save
it
it?
wisely.
Glad we got that out of the way.
It was gonna be hanging over us.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Alright, yeah, so basically, so similar thing. Wait, okay, so wait, scroll up.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do it, I believe
Also,
you
see
can.
Kenny there, our boy.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like it's that similar thing of when you're looking for the quote unquote next indie hit. It's like which ones stand out, and obviously it's very subjective. And again, this is kind of why it's a shot in the dark. And then even if it has it doesn't even need to have the most polished art. I think it just needs to be that exact like weirdness that hits in your brain. And I think that when you can tell is when you really want to tell other people about it. Again, it's all about that kind of word of mouth for me. Of like, oh, like there's this like really cool game, and I'm trying to describe it, but it's this, and this. You have to check it out.
Yeah.
Right? And or similar to the thing of like, oh, like I need to get back to this. So I think it can be like hit and miss with itch, as you know, any honestly store website is. Like we were talking about itch, it could be Steam, it could be Epic, it could be the Nintendo Switch store. But as long as I feel like if you're looking and you're like, you know what, like they're doing something with either the art, the description, and like you click into it, like that. Clicking into something is something that like game developers track, because that's a huge thing. If you decide to even look further, we're like, whoa, they love us. We're in, and then you add to cart, and then you don't buy it. I know we all do that. You add it to the cart, and then you're like, maybe I'll actually buy it. Or you do add to wish list, you never see it again because you have like 500 games on your wish list. Like all of that is very important to us, because it tells like the game stores that you're interested, and so they're like, if they're interested, we're interested. But it also tells us like, ooh, maybe we have something here. And this is why like, we're always like, please wishlist the game, please talk about it. It's very important to us, and it kind of like indicates to more people that it's like, hey, this might be something that other people should be interested in, which is really nice.
I actually have a question for you, Will.
Oh, let's get spicy.
Would you consider yourself a variety streamer?
I consider the term variety streamer to be a dead term.
Whoa.
But I do specialize in trying to find weird, strange, odd titles, things that have that spark and that something special.
How do you find these weird sparks, and do you have favorite tags?
So I do have favorite tags. I tend to find anything that has a good hyphen in it.
Whoa. In the title?
In the tags.
In the tags. Okay, the tags have like, so turn dash based.
Yes. Turn dash based will give you weirder sickos than turn based. It's like, now I will drunkenly fight until the break of dawn about the whole difference between roguelike and roguelite.
Oh, yeah.
It matters to a very specific group of people, and I enjoy annoying them. But whether they differentiate that or not means that devs spent extra time agonizing over whether to use the correct terms, and that usually means they really care. When it comes to like art and spotting things, I do look for something that pops. You can usually see when there is a through line between what the game is trying to be and how they're trying to show you. So in this one here, we got this little green computer sucker up here. That one intrigues me. And Nightjar intrigues me. Nightjar. What does it mean? What's Nightjar? I don't want to click it because I don't know where it's going to take us, but it's...
Click it.
All right, we're going to Nightjar.
Where is a bird, if that helps?
Oh, okay. But the things I would point out is that obviously we have a game jam. Connect Me is clearly a game jam title because of the way the art has been put together, which means it's going to be interesting, but it's probably going to be like a sliver of a concept, which again is what this panel's about, but just sharing my knowledge. The ones that are clearly screenshots will be either first or second projects, or somebody's like, you know what, I want to just make a game this weekend. And by the way, you should make a game this weekend. Harvester is a first project, by my guess, that is probably hoping to be commercial, but won't actually get a commercial release.
It's a lot of bold assumptions going on here.
Yeah, and how do I find these things? I sleep terribly, and I can drink a box of wine by myself. No, I'm serious. I will just pore over these titles. So let's look at Nightjar. Oh god, let's not look at all of them.
Does anyone on the panel have any advice for naming games?
Oh, great question.
And can it be better than Nightjar?
It's hard to beat.
One thing I will say, Google it and check the trademark registry to make sure it's not a trademark.
You're doing trademarks. I'm worried about SEO. Just like, is there something similar enough? Is there another Nightjar pickle company out there that's gonna block us?
Okay, sorry. SEO is a shorthand, is search engine optimization, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but one of my favorite, like, detective weird games of recent memory is keyword A Spider's Thread. Have you searched for keyword game on Google? Because I bloody have. Is it this one? No, that's a board game from the 80s. Is it this one? No, that's the same board game re-released in the 90s. Which one are you talking about? I'm talking about the one with the agoraphobic Canadian who's detecting a murder but can't leave his apartment but has a creepy telescope. Sorry, I don't have an axe to grind, no.
I'm seeing, if I'm correct, I think Nightjar was made for Mech Jam. If it's it's tiny text on the right side, you'll see a bunch of, like, top right, there's a bunch of accolades.
I think it's, is that Mech Jam 5?
Oh, it's a mech game. Who here likes mechs?
Yeah! It's all coming full circle.
Oh my god.
I'm not saying that I managed to pick out a mech game from a lineup by just the logo, but so I get paid the big butt. Oh wait,
we're not sponsored by Max.
Big Mech, the Big Mech agenda.
So yeah, those are my little notes on that one. Okay. Is there anything you would like to throw in from the games we talked about so far? Things we haven't got to cover before we open this pit up?
I don't know if I'm going to have another chance to bring this up once we jump back, but just something that Itch does that's pretty unique in game marketplaces is you can actually use, like, a GIF, and that's going to be divisive, but a GIF of for your title art, which gives you a lot of options of, like, you know, being eye-catching.
It's only when you hover over it.
It's only when you hover over it, but I think there is some indication. Like, I think the top right one says GIF on it, so it's a little bit of, like, you know that you can go and look at it. And you can fit a lot of information.
Oh yeah, do you remember that summer where everybody worked out that you could just rename GIFs as PNGs, and Steam would play them?
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a fun summer.
That was great.
Quick FYI, do check out my friend Pedro on Steam as a gold standard for how to do a really good Steam page.
We could look at it right now.
We could.
We have that power. I wanted to do a quick shout out just for game jams, just because we were talking a little bit about them. If anyone's interested in doing them, we make them sound like death marches, which is unfortunately also how much of the industry is run. There are slower jams. So GMDK this year did a 4-year jam, and if you guys are looking for a good starter jam, a lot of our friends over in Portland Indie Game Squad, run slow jams in the summer. They do 3 summer slow jams. They're very good and welcoming. I'd highly encourage you to check them out. And they do other jams throughout the year as well. I think Seattle has a Seattle Slow Jam in October, so if anyone's interested, with some coming up.
And the thing I wanted to add on the jams very, very quickly is just that there are 2 really bloody hard things to do when making a game, and that is starting them and finishing them.
My God.
Both of those are crammed into a jam. Because right now, every one of you here could make the next any of these, or even something far above and beyond. Like, we've never had better access to tools and stuff. It's starting that's really daunting. I have made no games by myself. So I'm not saying this from like a place of authority, but these game jams, I was just marketing for that one.
I still part of the game team.
I wanted to add to that, like, one of my favorite, like, meme tweets, and I forgot who said it, is that someone said this, they never told me that when you start making a game, you have to do the whole thing.
We're technically still not done. It's been almost 6 years.
Alright, we'll jump to questions.
But yeah, but no, it's good. I mean, honestly, a lot of Among Us's start, for context, I work on that game. A lot of the start of like Among Us's success was because a streamer found it on itch.io.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Good lord.
that was really nice. Yeah. So it's one of those things where you just never know. You never know. You just put it on the store page, make a few smart decisions, and then boop. It's nice. No, that also sounds like it will happen. It's very, very rare for that to happen. Please don't put your luck on that.
For the context, itch is one of the most accessible platforms as a developer. You can literally get in like 2 minutes, upload a build, fill out a few fields, which makes it extremely easy to put games on, which means there's probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of games, which is the double-edged sword of like one hand, it's so easy and accessible. On the other, there's always so much competition, so the odds of you sticking out get even higher, lower.
But again, there are also a bunch of cool OG hipsters on there who are looking for this next big hit game, and so you also will find players if you put your game up there. And if you're looking for games and want cool OG hipster cred, check out itch.io.
Yeah, as Victoria mentioned earlier, you know, like we're keeping an eye on like click through and like how many people are seeing our game, how many people are like playing the demos and everything. And itch is a great place for developers to kind of test ideas without kind of, you know, committing to fully releasing something. Generally, if you see a game Steam page, it's assumed that the game is going to come out at some point, and like canceling a Steam game is like quite a big deal. An itch game, it's like you can throw it up and just like, you know, in amidst all the jam games and short-term projects and experiments, it fits right in, and then you can see how much it gets played. You can see if any of your friends continue to harass you after the jam is done, and that's a good like proof of concept for developers, right?
The other thing I just wanted to add is that, I mean, and Steam only really started doing this in the last couple of years, but itch has also had pages for the jams, pages for bundles and groups. So we've got Space Jam, which is sadly not related to the movie.
Maybe for the best.
But will be a series of games from that game jam. So let's say we do a game jam up here in the next 10 minutes, and I make a strange, esoteric, cooking text horror game that has the worst key art ever. But you'll make, I don't know, Super Balatro money printer and what have you. And everyone loves Super Balatro money printer, and it does great. And there's Will's little weird game next to it. Oh, hey, what's this game? Says Super I killed the name. That other game I just said. And the actual amount of interest you see filter through that can be great. Game Maker's Toolkit has such a huge community, it has such a huge following. You can really explode on the scene from something like that. And yeah, Steam only started doing that, what, like last year for Summer Games Fest? Was it year before? Time travel?
That has no meaning.
I think I made it up. Okay. So, we've got 10 minutes, give or take. Friends, PAX attendees, would-be internet villains. Let's open up the floor for some questions. We got a mic over here. Line on up. We have more industry knowledge than could physically be put into one human being on this panel.
With our powers combined.
Yeah.
Captain Indie Game Developer.
I'm the left leg.
Why the left?
Hello? I like the idea that I'm actually a part, but just a megaphone that the rest of the mech is holding. Okay, to our first lovely individual.
Is it on?
It is.
Yeah. Nice. Do you know of any like good places outside of itch, you know, blogs and such, that I know that like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, there were a lot of these like secondary places that were the hipsters, I guess, talking about the games, and it seems like a lot of those don't exist in the same way today. And I'm wondering, do you know if there is still that space out there, to your knowledge, you know, of like people talking about these tiny games to find them outside of, you know, just finding them on itch proper?
I know of a few like journalists that like focus on that particularly. The number one that jumps into my head is one called Buried Treasure by John Walker, who worked for Kotaku for a long time. He kind of went independent and started doing that. It's not quite a community where people discuss it as much, but it at least like provides a lead for games.
And I also wanted to add that something that I personally use a lot is Twitter, but now more so migrating to Blue Sky. And honestly, I use those platforms like LinkedIn for indie game development. I check my LinkedIn like once a month. That is not where all the smaller developers or press or influencers are hanging out. So yeah, Twitter or Blue Sky I think is also a great place to find like smaller creators, and that's where I see a lot of developers sharing their early prototypes, early progress screenshots and GIFs.
Thank you so much.
Next contestant, please.
Hi, I have a lot more experience with like publishing on Steam and not so much with itch, so I was just curious in terms of like helping something you publish on itch find the right audience, discoverability, and guess kind of like what's the best way to use the platform to find the right people through it. I don't know, it's kind of a broad question, but aside from the key art and the title and the tags, what else can you do to kind of aid discoverability by the most relevant people to play the game?
I think if you're already on Steam, there's not going to be too much different to it. I think itch would just be kind of earlier in the pipeline. You know, as you're kind of like creating prototypes and you've decided like you're on, you know, on the fence of like, could this be a commercial project? Itch is going to be kind of before you've dedicated to a commercial project. Once you've got that Steam page up, that's really what you're going to want to be promoting, just because it'll do, you know, so much more for collecting wish lists and everything. But earlier on, itch is just a great like proof of concept.
I need to apologize to all of my panelists because that time has come. I'm going to talk about Project Silverfish. Woo! Finally. Thank you. Okay, I'll keep it concise. I don't want to eat everyone's time. Project Silverfish is the sequel to a game called Attica. Attica was originally released on itch.io alongside all the assets for the title, which were available for sale separate. It's a low poly setup that was released for Unity before the Stabby Dave incident. Attica saw some success, a little bit of uptick, but you know it wasn't like a holy Toledo as everybody knows about it. Project Silverfish is the follow-up, released similarly with assets in the ilk, released on itch.io first. So you get all of the bugs, get all of the jank out of the way. The only people who are going to go and buy your itch.io title are people who are already fans of your Steam release and aren't going to be obnoxious. Like me, sans the obnoxious. And then taking that and rolling it back into Steam once it's at a level where you can do like a Steam Next Fest demo and stuff like that is a heckin' win. Project Silverfish is basically the Stalker series if all the humans were scalies and the game was awesome and you fought Fae. Boosh. Okay, don't let me talk anymore.
Thank you for your question.
Hope that answered it.
Take it away.
Hey, it's Nolan.
Hey folks. I use it as a lazy librarian's portfolio, so a lot of things that aren't necessarily game-like, and some that are game-like but vaguely adjacent. What do you guys think about how they organize non-game things and how they surface non-game things? How do you use that for tools or for books or for PDFs of manuals?
Tabletop stuff. I think you get Lancer on the tabletop Lancer rules as well. Yeah. Anyone have any particular experience using assets from?
I have found many assets from itch.
Fantastic.
Because I don't have an artistic bone in my body, so I kit bash until an artist comes on, and it's enough to like, you know, show the intention of what we're going for. And aside from the search tools, I find the search tools on itch are really bad. Like it literally just looks just for the title. So if you search for like roguelike, it will just give you any game with roguelike in the name. So on itch, we actually say like Peglin, a pachinko roguelike.
Wow.
That's neither here nor there. Their tagging system is much, much better. And then once you find creators that you like, that collection I find works really well. So I would hope that that would work well for, you know, books and other non-game projects. But yeah, definitely focused on games first, but everything else is available too.
Does anyone do soundtracks yet? Like, does anyone ever have you seen anyone distribute their game soundtrack through itch yet?
Like an actual commercially released game, or like a royalty-free?
Or both, either. Yeah.
We should look into that.
We should.
Yeah, I've definitely seen some like music packs, and I think we bought something. But to what you're saying is like I usually find out for stuff for itch for like other websites. Like there's search, I have not had good luck with it either.
Interesting.
Okay.
Thank you for your question.
Next contestant, please.
I do have a question, but first an IT moment. If you wanted to show us that Steam page without leaking Dylan's secrets, you can open an incognito window.
I just need to be able to see incognito with
Control Shift there over here.
It's super tiny for me.
Control Shift in.
And what's your question?
Yes, the question. So game jams and going to itch, and this idea of proving a concept. If like a game doesn't immediately click, how do you decide that like it needs Twix and like you're sure it's a good idea versus being like no, it's not fun and kind of giving it up?
Yeah.
hey, what's nice about it being a game jam for a short period of time is that you can live in that reality where you're working on this idea and you don't know if it's good yet, but you only work it for the duration of the jam. And then you say, jam's over, that was a bad idea. I ran for it as long as I could, and you put it down. Or you don't.
Yeah, like, there's definitely some just design choice there, where like I was in this project that I just couldn't quite click, and I'd been working on it for a few months, and just yada yada, didn't even have a page for it up. And then the jam was something that I could share and I could promote, and like even just among friends, you could tell that there was something there, because getting them to play my other prototype was like pulling teeth. It was like, they'd poke at it for like a minute, and then they'd be like, this is great, like you should keep doing this for sure, I can't wait to play the full thing.
Right.
And then I'd give them the other thing, or even just like the fact that they knew the game was on itch, they would just be bothering me. It's like they're coming to me trying to get me to work on it, and it's like that is the kind of flip that you're looking for.
Actually, on the subject of that one, Dylan, I do owe you a stiff cuss, because on a Zoom call during the years of lockdown, a certain Dylan was like, I got this prototype, you should try it. Thanks, didn't sleep that night. Didn't sleep, Dylan. And just very, very quickly, this was the My Friend Pedro Steam page. As you can see, it pretends to be a regular Steam page, and then banana! Yeah. That was it.
Yeah, I want to throw in really quick 3 other things. Like one of them, I think, if you've either been making games or playing games long enough, you kind of develop a bit of like a gut instinct. And I think Victoria, what you mentioned about that juice, I think you start kind of instinctively picking up on that a little bit. So like even if the game isn't there, you're kind of like, there's something about it in it. I know, we just have to find it. Second thing is just getting more data. Just show it to more people, get more play testers. And the third tool that kind of works for me is that just get some space. Like go work on another game, give it like a month or 2, and come back with fresh eyes. Like get that distance, because we all get trapped in a tunnel vision. We get emotionally attached to our creations. So get that space, kind of forget about it, and then you can come back with it more unbiased.
And I don't want to harp on it too much, but like the fact that itch can support projects going up so early and they fit in that ecosystem means that as you're sharing it around trying to gather that information, you're also like learning how to market things and like figuring out like just how hard it can be to get people to try your free game is a really good realization.
Good games do not sell themselves, and anyone who tells you otherwise is lying. All right, as we're coming towards the close, I'm going to quick fire these. So keep the questions snappy. Team, give them your gut reaction.
Okay, good. I don't even have much of a question. I just wanted to say that, first of all, click on Jams up there is a fantastic calendar.
Yeah.
I have 19 games on itch.io. So I'm very prolific on there. I'm doing my first commercial one, so I'm still using itch as my demo platform until I accumulate more wish lists. But I just wanted to say that it's a fantastic platform, and this talk is amazing. So thank you guys for doing this.
Thanks, Dylan. Yeah. All right, next contestant on the rapid fire. Yes.
As someone who's like new to games, how do I find a game that I might like, or how do I find out what style I like of games, especially on something as big as itch.io?
Grab something like Terry's other games, and perhaps things like UFO 50 and things like that. Something that'll give you a nice spread, a nice taste of, and then focus in on the stuff you enjoy.
Sorry, what?
There's collection games. There's curations of many anthologies.
Okay.
So this is Terry's other games. The gentleman who made VV, and this was his other projects that he never put out commercially, but bundled them together. Also look up the Landfall archives.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shout out to Landfall archives.
Thank you.
Next contestant.
Hi.
We're going to make
as a new sort of aspiring dev, I wondered if any of you had any insights on how to balance making games with like a full-time job and like a busy schedule. And
Wish
that sort
I
of thing.
knew. I mean, game jams help a lot, because then you're not doing it constantly every day. It's just you carve away some time for it. But you still need weekends to relax, so I don't know, trying to fit a game jamming on a weekend's also hard.
Yeah, it is really, really tough. The truth is, like, you just have to kind of carve out the time for yourself and then find what works for you to, manage your energy across both. For me, like, I was working on Peglin for just a couple of months, 2 or 3 months before the pandemic lockdowns happened, and that really sped up development, I'll tell you that. Couldn't leave my house, so I'm kind of looking now, and everything's open, there's so much else to do, so many in-person events to go to, and it's fantastic and it's wonderful, but it does take away development time, And I have to just practice discipline now and be like, I need to just not do anything for these 3 or 4 days at a time so I can really focus in, and almost like a self-imposed game jam just to crank out some features. But no, it's a very good question. It's a very difficult problem.
I would say though, definitely don't quit your day job. Until you have like a deal in place or like a lot of market validation is going to be huge success. Like definitely, don't go all in, because I've seen so many devs get burned out on that.
Yeah, we had 20,000 wish lists on Steam. That was where I kind of drew the line and thought, okay, I should focus on this.
And in our final 10 seconds, can we get our last question in?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Any advice for ethically using asset stores?
Oh, shoot.
Credit the hell out of them.
Pay people well, credit them, and recoloring is okay. Make sure you follow the license rules.
And there we go, that is time! We did it! Thank you again to our wonderful, wonderful
Thank you so much for coming.
Now, if you want to see more indie games, I'm going to be leading a squad. We'll be convening out there, and we'll be heading to the Seattle Indies Expo. We're going to be going a little trundle. It is off-site, so get your walking legs on and follow my loud British self. All right, thank you, everybody.
Bye, Longship. Love you.